Hello, Dragonfire here. I wanted to hop on and do a ranking video. I already did a long form review for Ghostbusters, but I like to do the shorter ranking videos for those who aren't as interested in the long reviews. Okay, so first off, out of the 4 movies in the franchise, my number 4 is going to be the 2016 Ghostbusters remake. This one is just one that I didn't find worked for me. A lot of the humor didn't land, and I don't like the way that the Ghostbusters series is constantly trying to have to kind of reintroduce itself. Like, it seems like in every movie, people don't know that ghosts exist yet, and um, uh, so they have to first convince everybody, that ghosts exist or whatever, and then start being Ghostbusters. And I just felt like they already done that in the first movie. The first movie did it first. The first movie did it best. And so it's kind of repetitive where they keep reintroducing it. And so I am thinking that, starting from scratch is probably the worst thing. The Ghostbusters need to exist in a universe where people already understand that ghosts exist. I mean, the Tremors franchise did it. People understand that they now live in a world where there's these giant underground worm monsters and things that can metamorphosize and everything like that. So if Tremors can do it, I have confidence Ghostbusters might be able to do it one day. Put out a movie where people actually already know that ghosts exist. Okay, after the 2016 one, which is the only one I don't have a physical copy of, I did get this box set, this nice box set, and my number 3 is going to be Ghostbusters 2. This one takes place in the same city, just 5 years after the original, and what I just complained about resetting everything with the reboot, this one, even though it's a sequel, not a reboot, it still kind of does it, and that's pretty annoying. That basically the majority of people don't believe that ghosts exist in the city of New York, even though just 5 years earlier, thousands of people all witnessed it at one time. And not only did that incident occur, but several other smaller incidents occurred, and they've occurred in between and stuff. But they're still trying to convince people ghosts exist in this movie. At one point, they even get taken to the mental hospital. It's like, why? Why do they need to redo this? They start over from scratch again with the love story between Bill Murray's character and Sigourney Weaver's character. Why start from scratch over again? Which is what they do in part 2. So it's kind of annoying. There is some good stuff in part 2, but there's also some really annoying stuff, and I wish that they had a better second chapter. Okay, my number 3 is going to be Ghostbusters Afterlife. Just watched it for the first time before I reviewed all 4 movies. The others I had seen before, but just watched Ghostbusters Afterlife for the first time and thought it was a really fun, good movie. I really enjoyed it. It does have some of the same flaws as the others, like I mentioned, the whole having to establish that ghosts exist thing. But I guess that other than those couple of outbreaks that they had in the 1980s, which were the first 2 films, there's been relatively quiet, and those were relegated to a certain area of the country, New York, And now they're far away from New York, in a different part of the United States, and they are, um, uh, you know, far away, removed in time, and there has been relatively little to no ghost activity. So it's a little more believable, I guess, after so much time has passed, that it wasn't something that people knew that much about. So um, they kind of not a lot of people realize that the Ghostbusters exist, but then or not everybody does, but people old enough to remember. So anyway, I think this is a cool one. Um, yeah, I think it's a good send off. Um, a more fitting way to end a trilogy and give conclusions to some of the characters, and you get the cameo appearances from the original Ghostbusters, and they return for Afterlife, and it's a kind of satisfying conclusion to the end if that's the last time that we ever see the original Ghostbusters. Afterlife does a fairly good job, so it gets my silver medal, but my gold medal is going to the original Ghostbusters. I'm not one of those people that always picks the original as number one. If you've seen some of my other reviews, you know that I didn't pick the original as number one in every franchise I've reviewed so far. But in this case, I do believe that the original Ghostbusters deserves the number one. It's got the best humor. I think it lands um, good with the humor, and Bill Murray is really on point in the first movie, and so I really enjoyed it, and to me it's still the best of the franchise, and you could probably even skip the second one and just watch uh, Ghostbusters 1 and Ghostbusters Afterlife as a kind of 1-2 punch. That'll give you the best of what the franchise has to offer, in my opinion. All right. Um, Thanks for listening to this review. Like, share, subscribe. God bless, and Dragonfire out.